Hey, listen, quick question. How many of you are married less than 5 years and you're experiencing a little bit of what I call the struggle? You're having those struggle years. The reason why I'm asking is I am really excited. We are going to be providing what we call In the Huddle. And In the Huddle is a men's group, and it's specifically targeted to men that have been married 5 years or less. I was looking at some research at the beginning of the year, and research shows that about 50% of all marriages end in divorce. And the top reasons for the divorce are communication, infidelity, and finances. And so, what our expectation, and it's going to be about a 10-week conversation. Every week we're having, it's an open conversation. Me and another individual will be facilitating this group, and it's open to any man. Any man, 5 years of marriage or less. We're pushing it out. I'm sharing it on all our social media platform because I am super, super committed to the idea of helping men get the information that they need so that they can grow a loving, have a loving, thriving marriage. My wife and I, we have been married it'll be 36 years in September. We've been together about 2.5 years before we got married. So if you round it up, her and I have been together almost 39 years. We rounded up to say 40 years, right? And I know what you're thinking. I know. What? You've been married 36 years? I know I don't look like it. I know. Okay, anyways, I digress. But yeah, man, so that's my heart. My heart is to create an environment for men to give you the tools, the techniques, and give you some tips to help take your relationship to the next level. So here are some few things I've discovered in the 36 years that I've been married, and then in the past, I would say 8 years that I've been having conversations, coaching as it relates to men and success in relationship, and that is this: understand that your marriage isn't for you. Here we go, right out the gate. That marriage isn't for you. Oftentimes we come into the marriage and we got ideas about what we want. A friend of mine told me a story about a guy who said when he and his wife was having a conversation about his expectation. He and his wife was talking about expectation. And, when I get married, I want breakfast every day by 7 a.m. I want supper on the table by 6 p.m. And I want the laundry done on Saturdays. And he said, yes, ma'am. But you got to talk about these things. You got to have a conversation. I'm in the church that I attend Faith City Central. We're in the DC metro area. Shout out to Apostle Mike and Dr. Didi. My wife and I are the directors of the Marriage Made Easy ministry. And we have a team of experienced couple that help us provide marital advisory services and premarital advisory services. And when we have the premarital advisory services, as an example, is before we meet with the couples and have a conversations with the couples, we send them a 12-page packet. And in that 12-page packet, and they complete the package individually. In that 12-page packet, we want to find out a little bit about your family structure, your family history. What's your idea on money? Whose responsibility is it going to be to pay the money? Who's going to be at work? Who's going to stay home? Or will you both work? I'm okay with both working. Oh, by the way, I told my wife, if you can consistently earn a six-figure income, I will gladly come home. What's going on? Who? Someone. Hey, what's up, Brian? How you doing, brother? Brian, look at the road. Come on, man. See, you had to do your boy like that. Yes, sir, I am. That's why I got my camera mounted. But yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate the feedback. You're trying to keep a brother safe. Thank you for looking out for your brother. But anyway, so that's my heart, man. My desire is I want to help men have success in the relationship, finance, and other areas. So this group that we're launching is, we call it In the Huddle. It's specifically for men that have been married 5 years or less. Now let me share this, fellas. If you're not married 5 years and less, but you're engaged and you have a wedding date set, and you want to still be a part of the conversation, it's an open conversation. When I share the link, I'm sharing the link for any man across the U.S. You want to be a part of that group, you can be a part of that group. So that's what we want to do, man. So, and that's my passion. That's the desire that I have. My wife and I have been married 36 years. Have we had challenges over our 36 years of being married? Absolutely. Were there times where we entertained being divorced? Absolutely. I remember one time years ago, we had one of those challenging conversations. I call it heated fellowship. And so we both independently made a decision. You know what? It's enough of this. I'm out. And it's funny. Man, this road is bumpy. Come on, where my tax dollars going? Y'all need to be fixing these roads. Anyways, so the same day, her and I decided that we were going to look for a place to live. So she was working at a church and a daycare. So she had talked to the church. They had an apartment that they rented out. I was selling real estate at the time, so I had access to property. So I was looking at rental properties. The same day I got an application. I found the place. I said, you know what, this is the place. It's a great setup for me. It's only 2 rooms, and the budget is nice. And I'm calculating all this because I was making most of the money at the time. So my plan was I was going to make enough money so I can maintain this and still be able to give my wife some money so she can go do what she needs to do. I mean, that's my mindset at the time. And we both had made plans to separate on the same day. Now God intervened and it didn't work. But my point is, I understand the challenges. I understand the challenges that you can have in a marriage. And so in 36 years, there are things that we have learned and obtained. And we're part of a network. Like every Monday night, every Monday night, I'm with about 4 or 5 other guys, and we host on Facebook Live. On Facebook, and we go live. It's called the Man Cave. It's real talk, real issues, real answers. And that's a community it doesn't matter if you're married or not. You just need to be a man. So you're welcome to be a part of that community. And if you're interested in getting information on that community, let me know. Just drop a comment. I'll send you the link, invite you to that Facebook group. And that Facebook group, man, look how God worked. We started that Facebook group maybe 4 or 5 years ago. About 100 guys. We came together in the lower level of our church. 100 guys just to chop it up and talk about what are some challenges that men face, and how can we express this. I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with my wife. I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with my girl. I don't feel safe. I feel like if I share this with my girl, she's going to judge me. She's going to come at me. So we created this thing called the Man Cave. Every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1 hour. Me and 4 other guys, we facilitate this group. And man, when we started out about 4 years ago, it's about 100 guys in the group. Now the group is over 1,800 men come together. Over 1,800 men in that private group. We get men from all across the U.S. There's men in Africa, men in Australia, men in other parts of the world. They log in on that Facebook group. So I'm really passionate about helping men be successful, helping men have experience a level of success. I believe that it is the will of God for us to be successful. Now, when I say successful, friend, I'm not talking about living a 6-figure lifestyle. Now, that can be a part of it, and I wouldn't be incomplete if I said that. I wouldn't be incorrect. It just wouldn't be complete. It would be incomplete. So, again, we're launching a group called In the Huddle. It's for men that are married for 5 years or less. Now, if you're married longer than 5 years, we do have a group for you. But that's my passion. That's my heart. I want to make sure my guys, I'm taking care of my guys. I want to make sure that you're getting the information, how to skillfully navigate challenging conversation with your wife. There's a saying that if mama ain't happy, nobody is happy. Well, here's my question. What if mama is crazy? And if mama is crazy, she'll never be happy. What do you do in a situation like that? What do you do in a situation where your wife her tone is crushing to you. Sometimes, lady, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it that's the challenge. Sometimes we can be our own enemy in our relationship, right? And so again, actually, I believe we're launched. I think the launch next month, but I believe the launch date is it's the last Thursday this month. I'm not sure what that date is. 7 p.m. In the Huddle. Men that are married 5 years or less. Because listen, man, why settle for good when better is available? Why settle for good when better is available? And so that's what we want to do. We want to go through this thing because the stats are rising as it relates to divorce in the U.S. People are divorcing because of money. People are divorcing because of communication. People are divorcing because of their infidelity. You know, so how do you navigate that? How do I navigate if my wife had a relationship with another man outside of the marriage? Do I forgive her? What does that look like? Can I heal from that? What if we're having these money fights every time I get paid? I got more month than I do money. How do you navigate that conversation? So those are the things we want to talk about. You know, and I could be 100% transparent. One of the things that was a hindrance to my marriage, I didn't have infidelity. I didn't have relationship outside of my marriage, but I had a porn addiction. And listen, shocking. I know you're going to be blown away when you hear this. I was a believer. I'm still a believer. I mean, I was a Christian at the time. And I was looking at pornography, and that was a hindrance, man. It affected intimacy. It affected my money. It affected opportunities. It just jacked up my life because I created this image, and I began to see women as body parts. And it affected the intimacy that I have with my wife. It definitely, impacted our relationship. And so those are some of the, and I'm just being 100% transparent. I know this is Facebook. I mean, this is YouTube Live, the podcast that is going out all over. It don't matter. Who you going to tell if I tell my business first? Right? And I'm okay. I'm free in sharing that because my desire is, listen, bro, you don't have to struggle. You don't have to struggle, not when there's opportunities. And I'll show you how, and we'll share with you how to navigate these challenging conversations, how to navigate the money talk, how do I communicate, how do I build intimacy in my relationship. Understand this, friend, intimacy isn't sex. Sex and intimacy is two different things. Sex and intimacy is two different things. Let me say it one more time. Sex and intimacy are two different things. Sex is a physical act. Intimacy is the mental act, the posture of my heart towards that relationship. Here's intimacy. Intimacy is discovering, guys, what is her love language? Is it act of kindness? Is it gifts? Is it quality time? Right? Is it physical touch? What's her love language? And how do you convey love to her? Now, some guys may say this, well, I'm not just the emotional type. Yes, you are. You got emotions, bro. You have emotions. When you can't talk, you say, I don't feel like talking. What's wrong with you? Nothing. That's an emotion. That's an emotion, right? So we're going to eliminate that excuse. Well, I'm just not the emotional type. I can't share my feelings. Yes, you can. The reality is, just tell the truth, man. I don't know how to share my feelings. Everyone can share their feelings. Not everyone knows how to share their feelings. So we talk about that. How do I share? What if I'm offended in my relationship? How do I move past that offense? How do I navigate having a conversation with my wife if I'm offended with her? We talk about that because these are, relationships. I'm driving, so there's some comments, but unfortunately, who was it? Henry or Brian told me keep my eyes on the road, so I can't interrupt. I mean, I can't, interact with you. And look at this. I'm just going to let y'all see this traffic. Now, this is DC Metro traffic. So if you see me looking down at the phone, because look at this traffic. Man, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes of traffic. So you want to live in the DC Metro area? Welcome to the traffic. This is what you're going to have to deal with. Anyways, back to the story at hand. So if you see me looking at my phone, my friend, I think it was, who was it? Baron or Brian said, watch the road. Oh man, you guys crack me up. You guys crack me up. So anyway, so in the huddle, 5 years or less, I want to invite you guys to be a part of that. After I end this video and I get back to my office, I'm going to drop that link in the description so you can see it. Also, if you want to join that our private Facebook group called the Man Cave, we got 1,800 guys in that every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, from 7:30 to 8:30. Me and about 3 or 4 other guys, we have a topic and then we just discuss the topic, and the guys are commenting and they're asking questions, and we doing what we can, and that community is really growing. I mean, we were on one time, and we have some of the guys are in Africa, and so one of the guys who was in the Man Cave in Africa invited 300 men in a room in Africa, and we broadcast that Man Cave conversation to Africa, and it was 300 men in Africa and another 150 or so, in our local area. But again, that's what we want to do, man. We want to make sure that we get information to men, to do the thing, to get the information to them so they can live and be successful. What does some of the, I can't, yapping. Someone say yapping. I don't know what that means. You mean I'm talking too much? I don't know. So, anyways, that's what I want to do. I just want to hop on and let you guys know. You got challenges in marriage. We're setting up a platform called in the Huddle, specifically for men's 5 years or less. The other thing about communication in the marriage, and this is not just for 5 years or less. This is just a general communication message. Oftentimes in communication, the hindrance is we are communicating what we want. So we communicate from the perspective of what we want, as opposed to communicating from the perspective of getting an understanding. So the natural tendency is to communicate based upon what I want, what I'm looking for, and not communicating from the perspective of I need to understand what this person is conveying to me, because meaning isn't in words, meaning is in people. So when you communicate, keep that in mind. When you communicate and it's a challenging conversation that's leading to an argument, you got to have rules for engagement. My wife and I know that sometimes her and I, because we have different opinions, we're communicating, and sometimes our communication, at least for me, my tone starts to go up, or her tone maybe starting to go. So we have things that we would say to one another and say, hey, you're starting to raise your voice. Or sometimes I would say something like, babe, we're on the same team. See, that's a verbal cue that, okay, we need to calm this down. Or sometimes you need to just pause. Okay, if you don't mind, hon, can we talk about this another day? Because right now, I can't really answer what you're asking. And if you do that, guys, always give her a date. Give her a time. Don't say, let's talk about it later, but you don't give her a time. Because trust me, she's going to be thinking, when we going to have this conversation? When we going to have this conversation? So all you have to do is say, hon, now is not a good time to talk. Can you give me 2 days? So I can be prepared to have this conversation. That's all you have to do. So anyways, I don't want to be yapping like someone said. Who's that? Nicholas said I was yapping. That's hilarious, man. You guys crack me up. So, I pray that you guys find value in it. You're interested in taking your relationship to the next level, and you want to join us in the Huddle. We're launching that open group just for men on Zoom. It's going to be a Zoom, so we're all going to be in. We all want to see one another's face and things like that. And we be able to connect and man, prayerfully, I can be of service and I can assist you in your desire to have a loving, thriving, healthy relationship. All right, friends, thank you so much. On the Motivated Podcast Show, we always say less, but we definitely want to believe for more. Let's get it.